Video games. Something that I've been playing and buying for a very long time. As a matter of fact, when I was in the womb, I played everyone's favorite console, the Fetus Genesis 64, with games such as Deport and Abort and Eye of the Lifer. Now, why am I bringing this up as a topic? Well, the reason being is that one of the things I feel like I have yet to do or talk about mainly is some of my favorite games of all time. Now, I'm sure a lot of people that end up watching this, or if they know me from any other, social media platform, they know me from mainly DBL. But even though this game helps me buy my struggle lows, I can't preference this enough when I say that DBL in no way, shape, or form is my favorite game of all time. Do I enjoy the game and do I enjoy making content off of it? Of course, but it's not my favorite. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, what are my favorite games of all time? Which is basically the whole point of this video. So now, I introduce you to Jax's 3 favorite games of all time. Not in order, by the way, I'm too fucking lazy to think about all that.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Black Ops 2 is one of those games that comes out once in a generation. It is a game that no matter how old it is, it will still continue to have a fan base that supports it, cares about it, and will just simply say flat out that it is the best Call of Duty ever. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on that, maybe I'll do that in a different video, but in terms of what I think of the game, it is personally probably one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. What makes this game so special and memorable is the fact that it has a little bit of something for everyone. You got the campaign for the story-driven people, you got the multiplayer that is really well thought out with some great maps, some great game modes, and in general just fun weapons to use, and zombies for those people who like to grind out and find Easter eggs and just in general have a very good time just going around and shooting some fucking dead people. Growing up, one of the things I always used to do was go back and replay the campaign multiple times due to the multiple endings that it has and the multiple things that you can do in-game that can impact the ending, and I think that's one of the reasons why the campaign was so good, mainly due to the fact that there were just so many different endings that you could actually do, many different moments in the game that can happen. I'm not going to spoil it here, but I mean, the game's been out for fucking ever. If you haven't seen it, then like go play it or something. The multiplayer was just extremely fun. There were so many different modes that you could play, many guns that you can use, all with, varying different results. The multiplayer was one of those things that you can hop on with a group of friends and you are guaranteed to just have the time of your life. Now, while I can't say myself that I've done any of the zombies Easter eggs, one of the things that I can say is that even hopping on the zombies mode itself, dude, the amount of fucking fun you would have on certain maps such as Transit, Nuketown. I sadly didn't have the DLC. But moving on from that, you will never ever find anybody outright hating on this game. Frankly, I don't know really anybody that hates this game. I've never heard anybody say that it's their favorite either. Like, maybe in terms of Call of Duty, but in gaming, no, not really. But in my opinion, it's a game that you can hop on nowadays and still play with your friends, regardless of how many fucking hackers there are on this game. And to me, at least, it is a game that has aged extremely well, and it will continue to do so. Now, this is by far one of the weirdest, I guess, games to have on a Your Favorites game list, but I will be the first to say right now that Friday the 13th is one of my favorite games of all time. Now, why is that? The thing with Friday, right, because I played this when I was in middle school, there were not many things that I was actually really playing at the time, and when I got this game, I played this for hours and hours on end, grinding to get to the highest rank, grinding to get to the newest Jason or the newest camp counselor or like the newest perk. I constantly played it, and every single time that I did play it, it was always just a new experience to have. Now, why is that? It's simply due to just how fun this game is, and I really do think that the reason why this game is so fun is because of voice chat and the people that play it, because voice chat in this game is probably one of the best examples of how voice chat can make a game. Another great example could be something like Lethal Company. But I think Friday did a great job with the way they implemented the voice chat, being able to hear Jason or hear the camp counselors, and just, I know this game gets a bad rap as well because it's so toxic. Outside of that whole toxic aspect of it, for it not being, like a super popular game, the game is just a super fun, I don't want to say party game, but it kind of is pretty much party game, because there's so many different layers to it. There's so many things that you can do, and there's so many new experiences that you can have in the game that makes it so special. From the unique kills to having even like an offline mode where you can play against bots or do like challenges based off of like scenes from the movie. There was a lot of creativity, there was a lot of clear love put into this game, there was a lot of passion there was a lot of thought behind literally everything. This is pretty much a gold mine if you're a fan of the Friday the 13th series. And sadly, with the way it's ending, because it is, I'm pretty sure the game servers are shutting down soon due to them not wanting to full on work on the game anymore, and also on top of that with the lawsuit, which really screwed this game over horribly. That lawsuit single-handedly stopped us from getting like a Jason X update. In general, it stopped like from us getting any form of updates besides like simple patches. But sadly with how it ended, I still look back at this with fond memories. It will continue to be one of my favorite games of all time. I have no complaints about it, regardless of how, buggy the game could be. It was simply just a super fun game. You didn't really take it seriously, and that's all we can really ask for out of a game. There are so many things that can be said that have already been said about Telltale's The Walking Dead. Not even just Season 1. Season 1, all the way through its finale, in my opinion, have been either good to just phenomenal. There's really never been a bad The Walking Dead Telltale series. And honestly, overall, just for Telltale in general, I don't really think they've ever had a actual bad game. Now, on that note, the reason why I'm specifically looking at Season 1 and putting that as one of my most favorites is because I've played it the most, I've had the most fun with it, at least in my personal opinion, but I do think that the series overall is great. Now, why do I like Season 1 so much? Something about Season 1, as a little kid when I was sitting there on my Xbox 360 playing this game for the first time, I've never had an experience the experience that I had playing Season 1 of The Walking Dead. The thing that made it so interesting to me is because I wasn't really used to playing choice-based or like story like choice-based games. This was like my actual first attempt at trying it, and when I actually gave it a shot, I enjoyed it immensely. The thing that makes this game so special is not only do you have a likable character, Lee by far is probably one of my most favorite characters in all of video game media. Clementine is a great side character that tags along with Lee. I don't want to call her like a side character, but in the first game it's mainly focused on Lee, and then Clem's kind of like the secondary, but you get the point. And even outside of just the two main leads of Clem and Lee, there really isn't a bad character in this game. All the characters, in my opinion, in this game, besides Larry, either range from just likable to phenomenal. Kenny being one of the main highlights, obviously, of the first season outside of like the main lead. And there's so much replay value within this game because of how many choices they are and how many choices affect certain decisions that happen later on in the game. For instance, like the ending with the stranger where he goes over like all the choices that you made, and you have to kind of just like deal and talk to him about these said choices. It's really interesting. And out of all the villains from the Telltale series, I do think Stranger by far is the best out of all of them. They all kind of end up just being the same type of person, survival of the fittest. Stranger to me felt the most like an actual antagonist. He wasn't really a villain, you can say, outside of him like kidnapping Clem, but he basically is there to kind of give you a reflection of your past choices and have you come to term with those said past choices. And even outside of that, Clem and Lee's relationship throughout the story, from when they first meet all the way up to the end, is just so heartwarming, and it's something that is so likable. There was never a single moment where I've seen anybody have any complaint towards the relationship with Lee and Clementine. It's always just people being happy because they're pretty much inseparable. And then even when you look at Lee's relationship with all the characters, they all have a meaning to an extent, and all of their relationships are based off of actions that you make, which it's just it's just so good. Like, I can't really find the words to explain it. And at the end of it all, this is a game, even if you're not into story-based driven games, this is one of those games I would recommend you to play, because when you do play it, you will instantly fall in love with it. And I promise you, at the end, you will be crying from said spoiler. I don't know if I want to say it, because I'm sure all but one person in here has probably not seen the game, but you get the point. And that was some of my favorite video games of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed this really weird video. I kind of just came up with that out of nowhere and decided to go with it, because this is something that I do get asked at from, time to time, so I just wanted to go ahead and, just name some. If you are new around here, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you're not, let me know down below. How'd you feel about the games I mentioned here? Like, what are your thoughts on them? What are your guys' favorite games? I also look forward to hearing that. And with that being said, be good people, be beautiful people. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace out.